We actually, I pulled a portion of that debate for you to react to. So, control room, if you guys could go ahead and play a bit of the Finkelstein-Shmuley debate with Piers Morgan, and we'll get Mark's reaction on the other side.
Norman Finkelstein gave I thought, a pretty measured argument in response to my first question. You've gone ad hominem immediately and attacked the man, not the issue, and not the question that I asked you, which is to respond to what he was saying, which is a growing feeling around the world, by the way, that Israel is now committing, as he put it, as the court said, a plausible genocide. I don't happen to think it is genocide they're doing, but what I do think is happening is that there is a shameful number of innocent women and children being slaughtered on a daily basis, and I don't see what the end game is other than the obliteration of most of Gaza and many people living there. So to answer that point,
so let me answer your question directly. First of all, when you quote President Lula of Brazil, he is a criminal who served in jail for corruption. He has zero credibility. He also knows nothing about history. 10,000 Jews were gassed a day for 4 years after the Wannsee Conference in January 1942. To compare that to Gaza is an abomination. Secondly, Norman Finkelstein is a liar. The International Court of Justice specifically said that Israel is not committing a genocide. So when you tell me, why do I go after him ad hominem, I'm questioning his academic credentials. He just lied on international TV. South Africa sued to get the ICJ to declare that Israel's committing a genocide, and they said they're not committing a genocide, and they said they would not stop the Israeli offensive. That is a straight-out lie.
Okay, well,
fabrication.
All right. Well, if you're going to call, hang on. No,
if
if you're going to call him a liar, amongst other things you've called him, I'm going to go back to Norman Finkelstein and get him to respond to that.
Would you like me to respond now?
Yes, please. Yeah, I think it's only reasonable you should. Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure what was the purpose to inviting either me or Mr. Shmuley to this program, because obviously we are on two entirely different wavelengths. Mr. Shmuley is in the business, which is not surprising, of character assassination. He's in the business of libel. That's his job, because where he have to confront the facts, he would be in a very difficult situation.
So there you go, Mark. And it's incredible. I mean, Piers opens up by being like, you're just doing a bunch of ad hominem attacks. And Shmuley is like, here's some more lies and ad hominem attacks for you on top of the previous ones.
Yes, it was remarkable. It's to the point that he doesn't even realize that he's doing it, right?
It's just all he's got.
It's all he's got. And so, I mean, there's a way that you could say that if person X makes a claim and person X is the sole source of evidence for that claim and person X can be proven a liar, then we can dismiss their claims, right? That's fine, right? But that's not what Shmuley's doing. He's saying, okay, well, Lula said X, and Lula's a liar, so we don't have to account for what he's stating, even if it has been substantiated by a million other people. And it's fascinating. Suddenly, a criminal conviction is, I mean, Itamar Ben-Gvir, Benjamin Netanyahu, I mean, there's no shortage of either alleged or convicted criminality throughout the Israeli prime ministry, the cabinet, the Knesset, all of it. But that aside, he just continued to just beat up on Norm Finkelstein. He brought up his parents. He basically implied that Finkelstein was a Holocaust denier.
Oh, he didn't imply it. He said it outright.
Actually, he said he was a Holocaust denier.
Yeah.
And Finkelstein has very clearly and unequivocally said that he doesn't deny the Holocaust, as if that needs to be said. He lost much of his family in the Holocaust.
His parents are Holocaust survivors. He's a scholar of the Holocaust. So to call him a Holocaust denier is absolutely insane.
It's complete bad faith. But again, it's this sleight of hand where there's somebody who's a historian who might be a Holocaust denier, and Finkelstein may say, okay, well, this person is wrong on this issue of Holocaust denier, but they're otherwise a solid historian, and they have a right to make their claims, even if I disagree with them. And the wrongness of their claim will be spotlighted if we don't close the conversation but open it up. It's actually very much a right-wing argument in certain ways. And by that, somehow that makes him the Holocaust denier. It's so immature and ridiculous. It's like he who smelt it dealt it. He's basically saying, if you said the word Holocaust denier, so therefore you must be one. And it's like, this is dumb. But beyond that, he also does something. He does the very thing that he accuses Finkelstein of doing. He's lying on international television. Somehow, this narrative, and he's not the first person to say this, the narrative has become that the ICJ, the International Court of Justice, said that Israel was not committing genocide. That is not what the International Court of Justice said. And Finkelstein pushed back. I only wish that Norman had, Finkelstein moves at a certain pace, and he's going to move at that pace no matter what.
Yeah.
And he's going to be very disciplined and poised and establish his arguments. It's great. I respect it, and I admire it. In that moment, I wish Shmuley would have just been told, where did the court say that? Where in the determination, where in the decision did they say that? What they said was that it was plausible that genocide was happening. The purpose of that hearing, as you all know, was to decide upon emergency measures. And what the court decided was, it's true, they could have gone further and called for a full ceasefire. And there are multiple reasons why they may have not. One of which might be that because of Hamas's standing with the court, which is different than Israel's, they felt like from a juridical perspective, they might be telling Israel to cease all military activity, but didn't have the power to tell Hamas that, which could create an imbalance in terms of the realities on the ground. Now, we know Israel wasn't going to listen either way, but that might be the court's decision. But that's one potential reason. But what we know for sure is no speculation, no hypotheticals needed. The court did not say Israel is not committing genocide. They said that it was plausible that they were. They read statements from the Israeli leadership, various forms of leadership, talking about incitement to genocide, and the very things they told them to do to prevent genocide were the things that are listed in all international law that meet the textbook definition of genocide. It would be as if I were to say, Crystal, you're in court. You're accused of bank robbery. Here's your prelim hearing. I'm not saying you're convicted of bank robbery. I'm just saying I can't dismiss the case because it's plausible that you did, because we have a mask and we have videotape. And here's you with the bank robbery, with the spoils of the bank robbery on the table. Now, I'm not saying you committed. I can't say you did it because you deserve a full investigation. But what I'm going to say is, in the meantime, Crystal, don't go to any banks. Don't wear any ski masks. Don't go up to the teller. Don't ask for any money. Right? Effectively, I'm saying stop robbing banks till you get your hearing. And that's what we just saw at the International Court of Justice. And then magically, not to change the subject, but magically, on that very day, the UN gets accused of being part of a criminal conspiracy, effectively, by having 12 employees who helped do, through UNRWA, the October 7th attack. So Israel, not only the Israeli husband was strong that day. They redirected the conversation on the one hand, but they also had a bunch of mouthpieces, including people like Rabbi Shmuley, respectfully, who started to say this bizarre narrative, spin this bizarre narrative that Israel had been absolved of the crime of genocide, when in fact they're asked to give monthly book reports on how they're going to stop doing genocide.
All right, guys, that's just a little taste of the interview. Do yourself a favor, click below on Substack, sign up, and you can get the full interview. Or you could also go to Substack and sign up for free and get the full audio version as a podcast. Remember, Crystal and I don't talk to any advertisers. We don't do any ad reads or anything like that. So you guys help support the show from the ground up. Thank you so much for listening, and we love you. Consider signing up and helping us out.